is a divine power that is always working for us. A love so vast, so boundless, that it sees every worry we carry, every tear we cry, and every silent prayer we whisper. The secret isn't to struggle or to beg. The secret is simple. Give it to God and stop worrying. When we release, we allow miracles to unfold. When we surrender, we give the divine permission to do the impossible. Today, we are going to remind our hearts of a truth so powerful it can shift the course of our lives. There comes a time in each of our lives when we reach the end of what we know to do. We've tried, we've pushed, we've planned, we've worried, and still it feels like nothing is moving, nothing is changing. In those moments, the mind may whisper, "Keep trying harder," but the heart, if we listen closely, is gently saying, "Let it go. Give it to God." Surrender is one of the most misunderstood acts of spiritual strength. We are often taught to associate surrender with weakness, with giving up, with failure. But this is a false belief that keeps us locked in patterns of fear and control. Surrender, in its truest and most powerful form, is not about defeat. It is about alignment. It is a sacred declaration that we trust something greater than ourselves to carry what we can no longer bear. When we surrender, we are not walking away from responsibility. We are walking into divine partnership. We are saying, "I've done all that I can, and now I trust the universe to do what I cannot." This kind of surrender does not diminish us, it elevates us. It opens a channel for miracles, for answers, for peace. You see, so many of us live in constant tension, gripping tightly to outcomes, obsessing over timing, trying to control every detail. We think that if we don't worry about it, nothing will happen. But the truth is, worry does not prevent disaster. It prevents peace. It keeps our energy entangled in fear. Surrender, on the other hand, frees us. It releases us from the burden of figuring it all out and invites a higher power to take the lead. There is a loving intelligence that governs all things. It knows exactly where you are, what you need, and the perfect way to bring your desires into form. But it cannot step in while we are still clinging to our plans, our fears, and our deadlines. Surrender is the key that unlocks divine action. It says, "I no longer need to micromanage my life. I trust the divine to orchestrate all things for my highest good." In moments of surrender, something miraculous happens. We feel lighter, as if the weight we've been carrying has finally been set down. And in that space of peace, we begin to receive. Clarity returns, opportunities arise, people show up, resources appear. And not because we forced it, but because we let go. Imagine you are holding a tightly closed fist. That fist represents your need to control, your fear of letting go, your belief that only you can make things happen. Now slowly open your hand. Feel the release. That open hand is what surrender looks like. It's not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of readiness. Readiness to receive, readiness to be guided, readiness to trust. So often we ask for help, for healing, for answers, and then immediately take the burden back onto ourselves. We pray, "Please show me the way," and then we don't pause long enough to listen. Surrender says, "I don't need to have it all figured out right now. I am safe to let go. I am safe to wait. I am safe to trust." We are not alone in this life. We are surrounded by unseen forces of love, wisdom, and support. But we must give them room to move. Surrender makes space for miracles. It says, "I'm not going to resist anymore. I'm not going to chase. I'm going to rest and allow what is meant for me to find me." This isn't passive. This is the deepest form of active faith. It requires courage to let go. It requires strength to wait in peace. It requires spiritual maturity to say, I don't know how, but I trust that God does. And when we reach this place, life begins to flow. It becomes less about struggling to make things happen and more about allowing them to unfold in perfect timing. You don't have to do it all alone. You were never meant to. Give the burden to God. Give the fear, the confusion, the pain. Give it all. Release the pressure to be everything, fix everything, know everything. Let your surrender be the prayer that unlocks the impossible. Let it be the doorway to grace. And when fear tries to return, remind yourself gently, this is not mine to carry anymore. I have placed it in hands far wiser than mine. I have surrendered, and now I walk in peace. Every time you surrender, you rise. Every time you trust, you heal. Every time you let go, you grow closer to the miracle. Because surrender isn't the end, it's the beginning of true transformation, the beginning of divine movement, the beginning of peace that passes all understanding. Worry is a silent thief. It doesn't shout, it doesn't scream. It whispers quietly over and over until it steals your peace. One thought after another, one fear after another, until your heart is heavy and your spirit is tired. And yet we often cling to worry as if it helps, as if somehow if we worry enough, the outcome will change. But worry never solves a problem. It only feeds it. It clouds our clarity, shuts the door to faith, and blocks the very miracle we are so desperately waiting for. When we worry, we are unknowingly sending a signal to the universe that we do not trust it. We are declaring, I believe in fear more than I believe in faith. I believe in problems more than I believe in solutions. And yet, the universe is always trying to help us, always. It is always trying to send us what we've asked for. But it cannot get through the storm of our anxiety, our doubt, and our obsession with control. Miracles are gentle, they are subtle, they arrive on the wings of peace, not panic. They need space to enter. But worry clutters the doorway, it shuts the windows, it closes the blinds. When we worry, we block the very blessings we've been praying for, not because we are being punished, but because we are no longer aligned with the energy of receiving. Worry places us in resistance, while miracles flow through. We often believe that worrying is an act of caring, that if we love someone, we must worry about them, that if we want something deeply, we must obsess over it. But love is not worry, and desire is not desperation. Love is trust. Desire is faith. Worry does not prove your worth. It just weighs down your spirit. It doesn't make you more prepared. It only makes you more exhausted. It is not responsible. It is restrictive. When we stop worrying, something incredible happens. The energy that was once wrapped up in stress becomes free to create. Our mind clears, our body relaxes, and we become open, receptive, and aware. We start noticing signs, opportunities, answers we couldn't see before, not because they weren't there, but because we were too tangled in our own fear to recognize them. When we release worry, we raise our vibration to match the frequency of solutions. So ask yourself gently, what am I holding on to? What am I so afraid of losing that I can't breathe deeply anymore? What am I trying to control that only God can handle? And then allow yourself, even for a moment, to set it down. Place it into loving hands. Say with your heart, I choose peace now. I choose to believe that something good is coming. You don't need to know how everything will work out. You don't need all the answers today. Worry tells you that without a plan, you are not safe. But faith whispers, you are already being taken care of. Worry says, what if it doesn't happen? Faith says, what if it does, and even better than you imagined? You get to choose what voice you listen to. Each time you feel worry rising, gently pause. Place your hand over your heart. Take a slow, deep breath and remind yourself, this thought is not helping me. This fear is not real. I am safe to let go. I am safe to trust. Every time you do this, you build a new habit, a habit of peace, a habit of presence, a habit of expecting miracles instead of dreading problems. You are not failing because you feel worried. You are human. But you don't have to live there. You can feel the worry and still choose a different path. You can say, I see you fear, but I choose faith today. That one choice, repeated again and again, begins to open the door for grace. You are worthy of a life that feels light. You are worthy of rest, of hope, of trust. You don't have to carry it all anymore. You are allowed to release. The most powerful prayer you may ever speak is simply this: I give this to you. Please handle it. I let go now. And once you do, the miracle begins. Not always immediately, not always in the way you expect, but it will come. The peace will return. The shift will happen. The path will clear. Because once you move out of fear and into faith, the impossible becomes possible. Not because you worried it into existence, but because you allowed the divine to do what only it can do. Let go of worry and watch what unfolds. When you make space for the miracle, there is something profoundly comforting about knowing that even when we cannot see it, feel it, or understand it, God is already at work. Behind the scenes, in places we cannot reach, beyond the limits of our logic and reason, something greater is unfolding for our highest good. Even when the road looks still, even when the doors appear closed and the silence feels loud, God is not idle. God is moving. So often we are conditioned to believe that unless we see immediate results, nothing is happening. Our minds want progress to be visible, tangible, trackable, but the most beautiful and life-altering changes often take place quietly, in the unseen. Just like a seed planted in the soil, long before we see the sprout break through the surface, deep under the earth, roots are forming. Foundations are being laid. The miracle is in motion. In the moments when it feels like nothing is changing, we are being invited to trust. We are being asked to have faith that something is shifting even when we cannot yet see the evidence. We are learning to believe not just in the outcome, but in the process, because what is being prepared for us is more than just a quick fix. It's divine alignment. It's perfect timing. It's a weaving together of people, places, and opportunities that only God could orchestrate. You may not understand why the answer hasn't come yet, why the healing is taking longer than expected, or why certain doors have not opened. But just because you cannot see the movement doesn't mean it's not happening. Sometimes the delay is protection. Sometimes it is preparation. Sometimes God is holding something back, not to harm you, but to grow you. So when the miracle arrives, you are ready to receive it fully. There is no such thing as wasted time in the hands of the divine. Every moment is purposeful. Every experience, even the hard ones, is being used. What feels like a detour to us is often a direct route to something better than we could imagine. What feels like a no today may just be a not yet. God sees what we cannot. He knows what we do not. And He is always several steps ahead of us, preparing the way. If you've been praying, hoping, waiting, don't lose heart. Don't assume silence means absence. God is present in the stillness, present in the quiet, present in every breath you take, and every time you choose to trust. Even without proof, you are aligning yourself with the very miracle you long for. Let your faith be stronger than your doubt. Let your patience be rooted in the knowing that you are not forgotten. You are being guided with love. There is a beautiful orchestration happening behind the curtain of your awareness. Conversations you don't know about, connections being made, answers forming in perfect rhythm, all for you. You don't need to force things to happen. You don't have to chase. You don't have to strive endlessly. Your job is to believe, to stay open, and to keep your heart soft. Keep walking in faith. Keep showing up with love. Keep doing what you can do, and then surrender what you cannot. God is not just working when things are going well. He's working when it looks like nothing is going right. He's working in the pain. He's working in the waiting. He's working through the tears you cry at night and the prayers you whisper when no one else hears. Nothing escapes his care. Not one detail of your life is being overlooked. Sometimes the greatest breakthrough comes right after the moment you were about to give up. That's why faith is so powerful. It holds the door open for the divine to step in. So don't close that door. Don't let discouragement convince you that you've been abandoned. You haven't. You never were. You never will be. God is already working behind the scenes to bring clarity to your confusion, peace to your chaos, and purpose to your pain. Trust that the breakthrough is closer than you think. Trust that every tear you've cried has watered the ground for your growth. Trust that you're being carried even when you don't feel it. One day everything will make sense. The waiting, the wondering, the detours, the disappointments, they will all weave together into a tapestry more beautiful than you imagined. Until then, hold on to this truth. You are not alone, and you are not forgotten. God is with you, God is working, and the miracle is already on its way. There is a divine simplicity in understanding that you are not here to make everything happen by force. You are not here to control every detail, manipulate every outcome, or figure out every path. Your only job, your sacred, beautiful, liberating job, is to believe and receive. Everything else is in higher hands. We live in a world that teaches us to hustle, to strive, to constantly do more. And while action has its place, there comes a time when the greatest action is not doing, but trusting. Trusting that what you desire is already on its way. Trusting that the unseen is more powerful than the seen. Trusting that the divine, the universe, God, whatever name brings you comfort, is already aligning the right people, the right opportunities, and the right timing for your highest good. Belief is not passive. Belief is a powerful force that shifts energy. It opens the door to the miraculous. It aligns your heart with the vibration of what you desire. When you believe, you stop working against yourself. You stop canceling your prayers with doubt. You stop blocking the flow of blessings with worry. You become receptive. And when you are receptive, you are magnetic. You were never meant to carry the entire load. You were never expected to figure out the entire picture. You are only asked to hold the vision in your heart, speak it with love, and believe in its arrival. The how, the when, the who, that is not your work. That is God's domain. And the moment you surrender control, you step into divine partnership, a partnership that never fails. There is great peace in knowing you are not alone in the manifestation of your dreams. You are co-creating with infinite intelligence. Your belief is the signal. It is your yes to the universe. It is your declaration that you are ready. It says, I trust you. I may not see it yet, but I believe it's already mine. Doubt delays the delivery. Fear puts up walls. Worry creates resistance, but belief clears the path. Belief says, I don't need to know how. I just know it will. And that unwavering faith, even when things look uncertain, becomes the very magnet for the miracle. To receive, you must feel worthy. You must feel open. You must feel like the door is already unlocked. Receiving isn't about begging or proving yourself. It's about knowing you're enough. It's about knowing that your desires were placed in your heart for a reason, and that what you desire is already desiring you. Sometimes we complicate the process. We think we have to be perfect first. We think we have to earn love, earn healing, earn abundance. But grace is not earned, it is received. And you don't receive it by striving. You receive it by believing that you are already loved, already supported, already guided. Even now, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what am I ready to believe in again? What am I ready to receive without resistance, without apology, without fear? Can you believe that what you want is on its way? Can you open your heart to it, not in the distant future, but now? When you align your energy with trust, you feel peace. You feel ease. You stop chasing and start attracting. You let go of pressure. You make space for miracles to land softly in your life. And the more you believe, the more you will see evidence of that belief reflected back to you. Every time you choose faith over fear, every time you say thank you in advance, every time you speak your desires with confidence, you are planting seeds in the spiritual realm. And just like a garden, those seeds take time. But if you keep watering them with belief, they will bloom. They must. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished. If it hasn't arrived yet, it only means it's still being prepared. Your job is not to question the process, but to trust it. Your job is not to beg for crumbs of blessings, but to stand tall and expect the fullness of what is yours. Let go of the mental struggle. Release the timelines. Stop trying to earn what is already yours. Believe. Not just with your mind, but with your heart, your soul, your breath. Believe that you are worthy. Believe that you are guided. Believe that something beautiful is already unfolding behind the scenes. And then receive. Let it come in. Let it bless you. Let it surprise you. Let it be better than what you planned, because the moment you stop trying to force everything and instead allow yourself to trust, you step into the flow of divine favor. You don't need to do more. You only need to believe more. And the moment you do, you'll begin to see how much was waiting for you all along. There comes a time in life when the weight feels heavier than usual, when it seems like no one understands what you're going through, and you begin to wonder if anyone truly sees you. In those quiet, aching moments, it's easy to believe you're on your own. But here is the beautiful, comforting truth. You're not alone in this anymore. Even if the room is empty, even if your phone is silent, even if the people you counted on turned away, you are not alone. You are being held. You are being supported by a power greater than anything you can see. There is a divine presence that walks with you, breathes with you, waits with you in the silence, and gently leads you forward when you're ready. You may not always feel it, but it is always there. Sometimes we think we have to carry it all, be strong for everyone else, solve everything ourselves, prove we're okay. But strength does not mean silence. Power does not mean isolation. True strength is realizing you were never meant to walk this path alone. You were created to lean, to rest, to allow yourself to be loved, especially when you feel broken. Life can be overwhelming. People may disappoint you. Plans may fall apart. But the one thing that never leaves you is the divine presence that whispers to your soul, I'm still here. I haven't left, and I never will. That is the quiet reassurance that holds you up when you feel like falling. That is the hand that reaches for you when you don't have the words to pray. That is the light that shows up in the dark, not to erase it, but to walk you through it. You may not see the full picture right now. You may feel like you've lost your way, but there is a path forward even from this place. You don't have to know every step. You don't have to pretend you're fine. All you have to do is breathe, surrender, and allow yourself to be supported by grace, by love, by the truth that you're never alone. The tears you cry are never wasted. They are not weakness, they are release. They are cleansing the space inside you for something new, something better, something healing. Don't be afraid of your emotions. Let them move through you. Let them teach you. Let them remind you that your heart is still open, still beating, still capable of love and renewal. You were not created to suffer in silence. You were created to rise, to heal, to connect, and to receive. And the moment you allow yourself to receive help, comfort, divine guidance, you create space for miracles to enter. You allow the universe to respond to your deepest need with the kindness you forgot you deserved. This is not the end of your story. This is a chapter that will pass. The storm will lift, the confusion will clear, the heaviness will soften, and you will look back on this moment not as the one that broke you, but as the one that shaped you, as the moment that brought you home to yourself and back into the arms of something bigger than you. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to be everything for everyone. You just have to be real with yourself. Let go of the mask. Let go of the pressure. You are loved as you are, not when you're perfect, not when you've figured it all out, but right now in this exact moment. That's what unconditional love feels like. That's what divine presence means. Open your heart to that love. Let it in. Let it soothe you. Let it carry you. Let it whisper to your spirit that you're not forgotten, not invisible, not abandoned. You are seen. You are heard. You are guided. And everything you are walking through is leading you somewhere meaningful. You were never meant to walk through this life alone, and now you no longer have to. Whether you call it God, the universe, divine love, or simply light, you are not walking this road by yourself anymore. You're being supported, uplifted, and deeply cared for in ways you may not even be able to see yet. So take one breath at a time, one step at a time. Rest when you need to, cry when you must, but don't give up. The presence that walks with you is making a way through the chaos. There is healing coming. There is peace coming. And more than anything, there is love waiting to remind you you're not alone in this anymore. There is something powerful that happens when you stop trying to figure it all out and simply open your heart to what's possible. When you stop saying, "This will never happen," and start whispering, "What if it does?" Miracles begin where doubt ends. The impossible starts to unfold when you choose to believe, even just a little, that it can. You may have been told it's too late. You may have convinced yourself that the dream is too far gone, that the door is permanently closed, that nothing will ever change. But the truth is, impossibility is only a perspective. What looks impossible to you is easy for God. What seems hopeless to your mind is not beyond the reach of divine timing. You've seen it before, a moment where something shifted unexpectedly and you couldn't explain how. A phone call at the exact time you needed it, a breakthrough after years of waiting, a sudden peace that washed over you when you had every reason to fall apart. Those were not coincidences. They were divine moments, reminders that unseen hands are always working behind the scenes. Don't underestimate the power of what you can't see. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Some of the greatest blessings come when you stop obsessing over them, when you stop controlling, forcing, worrying, and instead surrender. That's when the atmosphere shifts. That's when things begin to rearrange in your favor. You are not bound by your past, your bank account, your pain, or your failures. You are not limited by what the world says is logical. You are a vessel of limitless possibility because you are connected to a source that knows no limits. And when you align yourself with faith instead of fear, you invite the impossible to step into your life. Miracles are not rare, they are natural, but they only show up where they're welcomed. The heart that believes, that hopes, that trusts, creates space for the divine to enter. And you don't have to have perfect faith, you just have to start. Begin with a whisper, a single breath of trust. That is enough to move mountains. Think of all the things you once believed were impossible that now exist. Flying across the world, healing from heartbreak, getting up after loss, laughing again when you thought you never would. You've already witnessed the impossible more than once, so why would this moment be any different? What's waiting for you is not beyond your reach. It's not too late. You haven't missed it, and it doesn't require perfection. All it takes is your willingness to believe again, to trust that the path will reveal itself even if you can't see a single step right now, to understand that some delays are divine setups, that the waiting is not punishment, it's preparation. When you feel like giving up, pause. Breathe. Look back on how far you've already come. Remind yourself of all the times you thought you were at the end, only to find a new beginning right around the corner. This too will be one of those moments. This too will become part of the story you tell with awe and gratitude later on. The mind will try to limit you. It will offer logic and facts and timelines, but your spirit knows the truth. Your spirit knows that healing can happen overnight, that blessings can arrive in unexpected packages, that one yes from the divine can rewrite years of hardship in a second. And when your heart is open, that truth begins to rise within you again. So get still, close your eyes, speak the words. I believe the impossible is possible for me. Say it even if you're afraid. Say it even if you don't know how. Because what you speak, you begin to create. What you affirm, you begin to draw in. And what you believe, you begin to receive. You don't have to push, chase, or prove. Your faith is the key. Your openness is a doorway. Let grace do the work. Let divine timing unfold. Keep showing up, keep trusting, and keep watching. Because the impossible is already making its way toward you. And when it arrives, you'll know it wasn't luck. It was alignment. It was surrender. It was choosing to believe when it made no sense. And that one choice, that one moment of courage will change everything. So hold on a little longer. Stay soft, stay hopeful, because what you're waiting for is waiting for you too. Watch the impossible become possible, and watch your life become a beautiful testimony of faith, grace, and the power of believing.